We all went to a party and probably nothing went wrong. This week on Hapless Heroes. I'll never say.
Hello and welcome back to the Hapless Heroes podcast. My name is Dave and I will be your host and dungeon master for this evening. And we will start this evening the same way I start every other evening because I am a man with absolutely no creativity whatsoever by introducing our cast. We have Francesco as Percival Floodhest.
It's a pleasure to be here.
To his left, we have John as Jam Jam.
Jam Jam is drunk.
To his left, we have Lewis as Lev Zangiv.
Good evening.
To his left, we have Mike as Brunner Brew. Is that an ad? Blitzbore.
Can I get you a drink?
To his left, we have Nicole as Glorp Glup Glop.
I have so many limes in me.
To her left, we have Seb as Shoomdaloom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's probably my fault, Glorp.
And to his left, we have Zach as Euclid.
Hey, how's it going? We're having fun.
Ooh, and just noticing, Euclid has a last name now. Good old Mr. Chornk.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah,
it.
that was established. We said that in our
Okay.
episode 00.
Yes,
Also,
but if
I did-
something's
I-
not written down, it's just that there's no object permanence anymore without words
I also
to
do
look
want
at.
to just quickly call out, because I don't think we called it out in the prior episode, but Mike's voice definitely changed from 00 to now. Like Brew's got so much more of like that like southern kind of like
I love it,
like,
though.
southern
Keep it.
twang.
Like kind of
And
that.
before in episode 00, you were like gruff,
Yeah.
and you were like down
He had a
here.
cold.
And
I also
but yeah, exactly. But we commented like, yeah, that's not going to be hard to maintain at all, right? Yeah.
I made an executive decision, and I was kind of hoping nobody pointed it out. But thanks, Fran.
We have to. Come on, that's what we do in this show.
That's what we do.
Listen. Creativity is a process.
Anyways, sorry. Let's continue with the recaps and the things.
And here we go.
Our scene cuts in to a blinding light
Blinding light.
and a high-pitched
Oh, shut up.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Is he talking to us?
We're not the crew.
I just.
okay.
Where are? Hold on. What is all of our state right now?
You're right.
So I can kind of gauge what my actual response is going to be.
Well, Euclid is stone sober.
Ah! See what you did there, and I like it.
Everybody who was drinking, please make me a constitution check.
Okay.
Nice.
I think that's
20.
all of us besides Brew and you.
Non-natural.
And we are still level 0, correct?
Yep, there are no
Yes.
proficiencies. This is just your constitution bonus, my friend.
Shoom-de-loom got a
level
15.
0.
20, not natural, please.
Natural 15.
Whoa. Oh, that's a 7?
Ha!
Nice.
I did it! Guess what I have? Guess it. Guess what I have?
Nat
Is it
20.
a nat 1?
A 1? A
The
nat 1?
Did I get the first one? Did I get
You
it?
did.
You got the
You got the
first
first
one,
one
bro.
of season
Nice.
2. Congratulations, John.
I didn't do quite that bad.
You are the most hapless of all of us.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I think I'm the only one that's actually rolled in the game
Yes.
so far.
You rolled
yeah.
once the
You
last
were-
episode.
so you
and
are
now
the
first
second-
roll.
You are the second roll of the game, John, and you rolled a nat
Yeah.
1.
Congratulations.
Getting it off started right. Yeah.
Living up to our namesake.
Yeah. I got a 15.
I got a 5.
Oh, Oh God. You guys
as
need
well,
to learn how to
as well
handle
you
liquor.
should. As
Yeah,
well
that
you
makes
should.
sense. You ended up becoming the leftover drink bin. So
Not constitute.
So, yes, Lev, your insectoid biology probably processed that liquor a whole lot better, and years on the pro wrestling scene probably killed whatever liver you had anyway.
It regenerates, I think.
Choom, you're actually doing kind of all right. You work in maintenance. You probably drink quite a bit anyway.
Yep, on the job,
for
at home,
being honest.
for breakfast.
Percival, you're not feeling great. Glorp, we'll get to you in a moment.
My feet are leaking margaritas.
And Jam, yeah, you're kind of fucked right now. It's okay because now we're getting into it. Things aren't going to be much different for you one way or the other. Everyone awakens, those of you who are passed out drunk, those of you who are sleeping. Euclid, you might actually be awake for this whole thing because,
Yeah, Euclid's
It's
just
all
been
good.
chilling.
Yep. Everyone else,
So creepy.
the bright light finally kind of fades a little bit, and you get that whole first person camera thing where you can see the blinking and you're sort of getting your vision back. The ringing noise kind of fades into some electronic whirs in the background and sort of a rhythmic beep, beep.
Euclid seems to
And
be
someone-
like almost dancing to it, like he thinks
Yeah.
this is a song.
Can someone shut that alarm off? I just need a few more minutes. It's a weekend anyways.
Snoozing is for the weak. Percival, come on. We will get you some coffee.
This is my jam. I don't know. I don't want to turn it off just yet.
Where the hell are we?
You say coffee.
You awaken in a room, kind of a metallic looking room, maybe about let's see, about 20, maybe a little over 40 feet wide. And actually, that sounds a little big. We're going to say about 30 feet wide and maybe about 50 feet long, with 6 captain's chairs, each arranged side by side, 3 rows back, maybe about 5 feet in between them, 5-6 feet in front and in back. And each of you are strapped to one. Our front row, left and right, we've got Jam Jam and Choom, although Choom is just sort of in a space helmet that has been strapped to the chair.
I
Is
imagine
he sitting in it like it's a bowl, or it's like on top of him?
Yeah, it's
Facing
on
in the
top of
correct-
him, like he's sitting crisscross applesauce in it, like it's a little igloo with with a clear front on it, and the thing has got a seatbelt strapped around the top and across the bottom that's holding it into the chair.
I imagine
This would be
that
a terrible way to wake up.
that because all the other crew none of them were Jam Jam size or Choom size, for that matter. Jam Jam is just somewhere in the suit with the helmet
Yeah.
kind of like just slumped all around
Yeah,
him.
like it doesn't. Yeah, the suit is not made to fit avian penguinine anatomy. So you've got your flippers that are kind of tucked into the arms, but are very obviously hanging very loose. The legs
And-
are fucking useless on this thing.
Yeah,
you're
we're-
just sort of taking up the torso of a suit.
Worse yet, you can't tell exactly which one is Jam Jam and which one is Glorp Glorp just by the liquids
Well-
coming out of it.
Well, we're like I said, I mentioned 6 seats. There's 7 of you. I haven't gotten into Glorp Glorp yet, but Glorp Glop Glop yet. But anyway, the second row on the left, we have Brunner Brew there, and Percival to his right. And in the back row, we've got Lev and Euclid. All of you are pretty securely fastened with, 7-point harnesses strapped to the seat. You can move your arms around, but none of you are getting up or moving around.
How is Choom secured again? Inside the helmet?
Yeah,
And-
Inside the helmet that's
strapped
on
to
the seat.
that are holding me in. It
Yeah.
feels like my worst nightmare, actually. This is a terrifying way to wake up.
Wait, what is happening? This is why is that alarm still going? Where are? Whoa, no!
I'll never tell.
What the hell's going on?
We were just at the party.
That was a while ago, and
Oh,
something happened.
Off to the right, over by the right-hand wall, there is an open Yeti-style cooler that seems to have some sort of greenish-blue liquid filling it to the top.
Greenish blue liquid.
greenish blue liquid.
Yep, yeah, that's Glorp over there.
Is there an entrance
taking up
fee?
the
Wait.
insides of a Yeti cooler.
A line kind of like pops out with a bubble and rolls across the floor.
Is there an entrance fee just for being some dude to enter this this cooler? Is there an entry price to just be some dude, like a Guy Fieri?
Stop. You need to stop right now.
Oh my god.
They're trying to make that a
Worth
thing.
it. Oh my god.
Worth
It was
it.
so worth it to derail whatever was happening. Feels good.
The front wall of the room starts to light up and glow just a faint blue, enough that you can see that it's curved, sort of a concave curve towards you that goes from side to side and floor to ceiling, maybe indented a few feet. You can see there's a railing at the front of the room that stops short of it, as though whatever that concave dish is at the front kind of curves down a little bit too, as well as up to the ceiling. Panels and banks of different flashing lights and switches line both of the walls all the way from the front to the back of the room on both the left and right sides. None of you can quite get your head around to see what's on the back wall at this time, though. Crew, are you there?
Who is?
Does he mean us?
Yeah, is he talking to us?
I don't know.
What do you mean? What do you mean, crew?
Like the crew of the Cosmos Concordia. How much did you all have to drink last night?
Nothing.
Yeah, what he said.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, haha. You're really funny, Brock. You did it again, didn't you? You got pissed drunk the night before a mission, just like every time, and now you're trying to cover up by practical joking us.
I'm
You're
not-
friggin' hilarious.
I'm not pissed drunk at all.
Yeah, no,
Wait,
that's
no.
it. Yeah, you know what? Be that way. T-minus 30. Click.
Just as
Wait,
that
no,
happened.
wait, T-minus 30 for what?
What did he mean?
I'll never say.
Hey man, like maybe just like a hint or something.
I
Wait,
told
you could-
Mr. Goldman I wouldn't say. It would be
Okay.
very embarrassing for him. What happened?
I go to unlock my. I don't know why I'm saying that like that. I go to unlock my seatbelt that I assume is strapped around me.
I wouldn't do that.
I attempt. I don't even know where am I sat at, Dave?
You
Back
are
row?
in the second, on the third row on the left.
Is that furthest away from the windshield or whatever that's called?
Yeah, the furthest back from the windshield on the left.
I would imagine of all of us, Lev has probably the tightest spacesuit on as far as
How's the
if we're
horn
talking from
fitting in the
spectrum
helmet?
of like loose fitting.
There have been some creative liberties taken with the suit that is covering Lev.
Looking
On
good,
closer,
lad. Very
on closer
form-fitting.
inspection, you would note that it's actually two different suits ripped mostly in half and sewn together around the sides of Lev.
With
Somebody
space
really
Lev.
cared about
Always
this.
Well,
Always good at upcycling. Good old Lev.
atmosphere resistant thread.
Lev, that's very sustainable to construct a
it's
spacesuit
a really
that way.
haggard stitch that almost across his back looks like a corset.
Wait a second. Does that mean that Brew is in Brock's uniform?
Yes.
Because
Yes, he
they're both.
is.
Oh no! Don't give this man a fucking captain's costume again.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The player
I'm just
Mike
kidding.
takes offense
I'm
to
just
that.
kidding. It's just game knowledge. I'm just joking.
I'm also the
we
best.
love it.
I am also the navigator of this group, to be fair. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, not yet, but we're getting
That's
there.
called
You're gonna
meta
navigate us
shade.
to another. You're
Meta
gonna
shade.
navigate us to another couch there, Brew. Sorry.
I unlock the seatbelt if that's possible.
Make a
Oh goodness.
not a constitution. Make a dexterity check.
11.
You can't seem to figure out what exact sequence of switches to push. Like, you might have to push one before another and then kind of slide it a certain way. It's a really complicated looking harness. It's just
This is
your
more
crab claw-like hands just can't seem to quite get
this is
it.
more complicated than rules of ultra cricket or whatever it's called nowadays.
Jam Jam's head pops up in his helmet. What time is it? Where is Jam Jam's vacation? And he immediately also starts. Okay, I have a nat 1, so I don't know if I'm rolling a
Also-
disadvantage. I'm trying to get
What?
out of the seatbelt too.
Yeah, we'll get there.
T-minus 20.
Holy shit. We're
Okay,
actually
surely
on
they
the
mean
ship.
that. Surely they mean that T-minus 20 till they let us out and click our seatbelts off.
I'll
No,
never
this can't be
say.
happening. This can't be happening.
Dude,
This
your,
is amazing.
your silence right now is frustrating.
No, the beach.
Crew, please engage the tetraphoton wave emitter.
The fuck?
Euclid engages the tetraphoton wave emitter.
Euclid, make an intelligence check, please.
Hang on.
Oh no.
Can I do that at advantage because of my
I would be
technical
helping.
background?
I could be helping. Also, just because I
Wait, what did you say?
can't get out.
Intelligence? Intelligence check?
Yes, I'd like you to make an intelligence check.
It's a 12.
It's a 12. So the first thing your intelligence tells you is that the switches are 2 rows ahead of you. So in
That's
front
it.
of Choom. The other thing it's going to tell you is you're pretty sure it's the 3rd green switch from the left, 2 rows from the top.
Euclid unbuckles his 7-point
Everybody's
harness
getting out
and
of their
engages
seat.
the tetraphoton wave emitter.
Good. We'll just stack a dexterity check right on top of that one for you. too.
It's a 13.
13. Do you have to slide it to the right, maybe? Like, you think you could get the first couple of buttons down, like you've got the first 2 in the sequence, but it's not quite there.
Fair, fair.
I can't do shit. I'm in a helmet.
Percy's gonna like kind of at this point kind of like pick his head up from like off of the console. I'm assuming is what I was resting on, or just like I was slumped over, right? If I'm like fastened into my seat, because if I'm assuming that Brock's costume or Brock's uniform went to Brew, that means that I'm in one that's too small for my portly body, and so I'm feeling very constrained. And I'm gonna be like looking around and watching everybody trying to get out of their harnesses. And I'm going to be like, no, don't you realize we're on this ship? If you unbuckle, you could be killed. Stay in your seats.
Are we supposed to press the button?
Listen to the instructions. Euclid, you know what's going on here. You need to tell us right now. Through the power of teamwork, we need to figure this out because our lives could be at stake here. What the hell is that part that they're talking about? Do I know what that part is that they're talking about?
I told Mr. Redmayne that I wouldn't say because he'd be very embarrassed.
That's helpful.
What are we supposed to do? Percival's he's panicking.
And nobody can get out of their
I think
seats.
we need to engage the tetraphoton wave emitter. Aren't you listening?
Yes, okay, so let's do that. Let's do that right now. Where is it?
At this moment, you see the Yeti cooler fall over, and like a bunch of what looks like margarita spills out of it, followed by like a blue glob, which is kind of like sort of trying to grow legs, but not succeeding. So it's just kind of a blob that's rolling.
What the hell is that?
The
Jam
blob
Jam's margarita.
that is Glorp goes and just chases down the lime that went rolling across the floor. That's all.
Our savior. Wait.
That is a slime with priorities.
All right, so Euclid's stuck in his chair, but he knows where the buttons are.
Yeah, and Euclid tells Percival where the button is.
Which one was it again?
It is in front of Choom, and it is the green button, third from the left.
Yep.
Choom, did you read that?
Yeah. Does this helmet open?
Choom, make me a strength check.
Oh
no!
You son of a... You mother... All right. I rolled...
Yeah, Seb, just so that, because, we're going to be revealing what our...
I rolled a nat 20, son!
Let's
On
go.
my tiny dice, my first roll.
So Seb, just for the audience, right? Because remember, we did mention that we rolled our characters' attributes this time around. What is your strength score?
7. So
chef's kiss.
So what am I just like kind of shimmying it open?
No, with a Herculean effort, you push upward on the glass of the front of the helmet and it snaps open.
Oh, that was actually pretty easy. All right.
He gets out on the console. All right. Holds up his hands in 2 L's.
Left, L. All right. Okay, green button.
Makes the bed. Just pushes his thumbs together.
Yeah, it's left. All right, this the button?
He holds his finger over the third button to the left, the green one.
In which row?
Fuck. You guys help here. There's a lot of buttons.
Can I make a memory check?
It's like 5th
History.
row.
That's
history.
Memory already?
Wait, what'd you say? 5th row? All right.
Listen,
Goes to the
I was
fifth
just
row
focusing on
button.
remembering what the thing was actually just called.
T-minus 15 seconds.
I'm gonna press the fifth
Oh my God.
row.
It was
to the
like
left.
15 seconds, 30 seconds ago. I'm so scared.
Instantly, upon hearing that, just
That's a good sound, right?
No.
No! What have you done?
That's my jam.
It comes the overhead voice.
You're gonna experience clinostat decoherence!
Uh-oh.
Is that a bad thing?
It sounds fun.
Hey,
That's a bad thing! Yeah, if you like replacing your ablative transcoil 3 seconds into the launch, sure!
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, so what button do I press now?
Okay. T-minus 10 seconds. We need to re-engage the coercion driver. It's
Please.
coercion driver. It should be on the right column of buttons. You know what it looks like.
Let's assume that I don't.
Let's just assume that maybe this is not the crew that you thought it was.
You know,
and either we abort this
hypothetically,
launch,
allegedly,
or you just give us the instructions.
What do you
Let's
mean
just
not
assume.
the crew we thought it was?
No,
How drunk
allegedly,
are
like
you?
hypothetically.
T-minus 5
I'm
seconds.
a margarita.
So what does it look like?
there's blue buttons to the right. That's all he said. How many buttons are there?
There are.
Guys, I think we should just roll with it at this point and see where this little
How many buttons are there?
rocket ship gets us.
4.
How many buttons are there?
No, I have
3.
dance recital. I cannot be.
Just
I cannot be
relax.
doing this
2.
right now.
All right. If there's 6 buttons, I'm pressing the second button.
1.
A
Nah, just sit
pseudopod
back
pops
and
out of the
roll with
warp
it.
and hits whatever button is
Okay.
closest.
It'll be fine.
The second Choom's finger pushes the button, every single one of you are glued to the back of your seat with a force like you have never experienced in your entire life.
Oh no, what
Oh
about
my
me?
god, I'm glued to the back of my seat
You
with
are-
a force that I've never
yeah.
experienced in my entire life.
Glorp is now decorating the back wall of the cabin.
Hey, wait, but was I standing in front of anybody's seat?
You know what?
I almost
I'm
imagine you were
asking
like
you to
in
make
the
a choice
aisle
here.
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, you know what? That sounds
That's
like
true.
a great question. It's one I'm going to
I'll
solve
tell you what
with
else
a
was on the
dice
ground
roll.
though was whatever the hell just leaked out of Glorp in that cooler.
Margarita.
Too. There's like loose liquid
And
on the
lives.
on the ground.
fine.
Yeah.
I think I am also leaking things right now.
There's also a loose Yeti cooler, I guess,
Yeah.
flying around.
Oh yeah.
Percival, you were smacked in the shoulder with quite a bit of slime as Glorp was thrown to the back wall. As I'm not trying to divide Glorp into too many multiple parts, none of it really stayed there. It's kind of, it's got some surface tension to it. It's sort of like if you've ever dripped mercury on a flat surface, how it kind of stays and bubbles and stuff like that. You know, sort of.
Glorp is like a non-Newtonian fluid or something like that.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
functioning much like flubber, but less bouncy.
So, all of you now have, well, those of you with eyeballs, all of your eyeballs are trying to escape through the back of your heads. There's a blinding light, a piercing darkness, some plaid patterns on the screen, a little bit of swirliness, some disorientation.
Are we going in ludicrous speed?
Yep, chicken and beer for everyone.
We've gone plaid.
And after a few seconds, and everyone is sort of thrown forward into their restraints and back and forward and back and forward and back, you know, as you sort of rock into a more stable position.
Like a rumble still though?
A little like a woo woo. And then, yes, everything is just sort of a low, you know, like 60 hertz or whatever, whatever a really low frequency is, because I have no musical ear and I couldn't fucking tell you, but a low.
It's pretty low.
But otherwise, it is quiet.
Well,
No.
Brew finally speaks up. That was the most realistic simulation I've ever seen. That was amazing.
it was a simulation.
No.
That
What?
wasn't a simulation.
Well, we're not in the rocket.
No, that was a simulation, right? Yeah, this has to be a simulation. Please tell me it's a simulation.
No, that
Please
was
tell
the
me
real
I'm dreaming.
rocket.
I'm gonna be
Now
glad
Jam
if it
Jam.
is because they made me press the wrong buttons and shit. That was not cool.
Now we're
Can
in
Jam Jam
outer
get out
outer
of-
space.
I still cannot
Mr.
figure out
Strange
this
yet?
seatbelt.
Yeah, I want to get out of my seatbelt.
I'll go and help everyone. I'll like literally jump over people's laps, and just like fucking start undoing seatbelts.
Well,
Anybody want a juice box?
I feel like there's people that are going to come and let us out of our seats. I think we just need to stay where we are.
It is not a
I got a
ride, bro.
15. Anyone who wants to get out of their suit, Choom will jump over Jam Jam's start with a 15.
Yes, hold on. No. Listen to Lev. This is not a ride. We're on a spaceship.
Yeah, don't you want to go explore?
We're in outer space. Oh.
Everybody
Jam
chill out.
Jam.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
get y'all some juice boxes. And Euclid.
I think we
Euclid
should remain
tries to
seated and
get
wait for our
out of his
instructions.
harness again.
Oh no.
Yep.
All right, so I got a 15 for Jam Jam's dexterity roll to get him out of his harness.
Yeah, and it seems to, okay, it makes sense. Push and slide, push the other one, slide it back the other way, and the center of the thing comes apart, and you're able to start
Nice.
getting people out.
Eureka! I'll jump over to Euclid and do the same.
Yep. Jam Jam immediately slips out of the spacesuit onto the ground, on his knees, pounds on the floor. You bastards! 2 weeks. 2 weeks in Little Shoe Beach, and you blew it up! You bastards!
Oh, little shit. That is actually very nice.
It's amazing.
Jam, you're worried about a vacation at a time like this? We are stuck in a spaceship that none of us know how to operate. Is anyone here a pilot? No one?
I've been
Not-
reading
not a
this
single
manual.
person?
And I really like ships, but never flown one before.
Okay, so no. The answer is no, then.
Emphatically, yes.
Something that looks like a giant blue jello pancake, like shimmies forward from the back of the ship at this point, while slowly kind of starting to squish down into the shape of a more typical goo person.
That's fucking awesome.
And Glorp says,
I teach some things about space to my students.
You like a college professor?
Yeah, a college professor or something? I was going to ask the same question. Good question, Chum.
Oh, thanks.
Glorp, now less pancake-shaped and kind of looking like if a person was in a deflated CD costume, like you would see in like the 90s when they were, advertising like DVDs. And, like I'm like Glorp is like that shape now, and proudly puts their arms on their lack of hips.
No, they look like a what? A deflated what costume?
Like a CD or like a DVD. If you ever saw one of those people that was like marketing like a used CD store or a used DVD store, or maybe
might be a Canada
pizza.
We didn't.
A pizza.
Oh, like the
costume.
wacky
Technology in
inflatable
the States.
flailing arm man?
Yeah,
Is that what
give
you're
you,
talking about?
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. Just picture a person in a circle costume.
Yeah.
It looks like that, but blue
I get it.
and gooey.
Understood.
And proudly puts their arms on their lack of hips and says,
I teach kindergarten.
Oh.
This is like a form of college for babies,
That's a spin. Yeah.
Because there's pre-K and then they graduate to kindergarten.
I mean, so far, Glorp, I think I called your name correctly. If I remember, I think we met at the party before you. I don't know where you went. You disappeared somewhere. But you probably have the most knowledge, I think, of anyone here so far about piloting. That's not. I'm not saying you know a lot.
I'll see what I
Anyone
can
else
do.
here?
and Glorp starts stalking towards the front of the ship and looks
Wait.
out
No, I didn't say.
whatever is at the front of the ship. What does Glorp see?
I'll say, put a map in front of me, and I'm good to go.
You realize what you're suggesting? This is one of the most advanced pieces of technology and engineering that has ever been created by the people of our planet, and you want to just hijack it for adventure?
Hey, it's pretty
We're
cool.
not trained for this.
It's pretty cool.
Well, we could get I mean, you don't say Mr. Glub Glub. You could just get Glub Glub here to turn it around. We go home. No?
Can I roll something to remember? Because my backstory, I was obsessed with this thing. And no, I've never flown at all. But would I be able, can I roll like a history to see if I can like at least big heads or tails of the piloting system of this thing?
Like maybe you read about like some of the stuff in like a magazine feature.
Right,
or
like
something
literally,
that,
like that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Yes, and I want to get to you in a second, but Glorp had something that I wanted to resolve first. So, Glorp, you slither, undulate, ooze your way to the front of the cabin. What you presume is the front, that curved concave wall towards the front. It is now dark with light blue at its edges. But as you get closer, you notice it's not completely dark. You can see what look like little points of light starting towards the center and slowly floating off towards all of the edges of the screen. Sometimes in little patterns, 2s and 3s, sometimes individually. Sometimes there will be, one going up and one going to the side, or, all kinds of different permutations of it. Only tending to be a few at a time and moving pretty slowly by your reckoning, though.
Do I know enough from my teaching kindergarten capacity about what space travel would look like to understand what I'm seeing?
That is excellent, and I think this is a history check kind of place.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm proficient in that just from my regular teaching background. Do I actually get to use that proficiency then?
Sure, I mean, you probably would have had to have subbed for a lot of different classes, and more than likely had, sort of a world sciences, earth science, astronomy, something or other.
We were doing a unit on the space travel thing. And
oh yeah, no, you
class,
absolutely would have, yeah.
Perfect, I rolled a nat 1.
Oh man.
So I don't think any of my questions there are relevant anyway.
Actually, as a true teacher, this totally actually makes sense because you don't necessarily know everything that you teach. You just kind of teach it.
It looks like science is taking place on the screen. It's
I'm also
very
thinking
quadratic.
You're a kindergarten teacher. What kind of science are you actually teaching?
Glorp confidently paces back to the group kind of dragging a goo pile, but starting to have more leg form. Again, places their hands confidently on their hips and says,
There's a really good space movie on at the front of the ship. It'll probably teach us something about how to fly this thing.
Jim would hop up onto the console.
Yes. Along that front railing, there is a console. It looks like actually it could detach and slide in front of any one of the seats, but right now it's still secured to that front railing by a couple of straps and a clip. It is the vaunted piloting console for the Cosmos Concordia. You read all about it in popular Pseudo-Mechanics magazine. It's interesting. It's state-of-the-art. It's haptic. It vibrates. It has some touch
Pseudo-Mechanics
control.
magazine is
Popular
Chef's
pseudo-mechanics.
kiss. Truman's got this like he looks like he's looking at a Thanksgiving dinner, just like thirsty as he's looking over the console.
It looks like there's a couple of those touch pads like you would see at the bottom of laptops on the right-hand side, one over the other. There's a very convincing looking, one of those handles that you push forward or back like part of a flight stick. Looks like somewhere between a bus steering wheel and possibly a valve, just a little bit to the right of those. A weird thing that you stick your hand in? Maybe? Like if it was a human-sized hand, it would probably be like both of your hands that you would have to stick in here. But, you could probably fit them into two of the finger indentations. It's a little weird looking. But they definitely had some diagrams of it, and it looked like a guy was almost elbow deep in the thing. It was actually kind of weird.
I kind of want to try it.
before we just start. Is it an out loud thought?
Yeah,
or is that an
Truman
internal
would literally be
thought?
like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna try something." He said he'd
Wait,
do it.
but just before you do, please, I just want to try to get in contact with Mission Control to let them know this has been a giant mistake. Like, we're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be here.
Or maybe we are. Maybe we're just supposed to watch the space movie and then they'll let us out of the theater.
Did Euclid come back with the juice boxes yet?
Wait, how far would you even go with the juice box?
Successfully,
Where did you
I
even
have not
disappear
successfully
to?
gotten out of my harness.
Oh no,
yet.
I let you out.
Oh, I got out of my harness?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, Euclid just realized he got out of his harness and stood up and is going for the juice boxes.
Where would you go?
Well, are you going to leave this cabin to go look for juice boxes, or are you going to try to look around in here?
I'm gonna make a history check because I think
Or destroyed some.
I asked Mr. Goldmane where the refreshments were before he left us.
Well, make your history check first.
Ooh, that's a 2.
Your brain, they're in the galley. But you don't know where the galley is. You were walked through a bunch of rooms and past a big cylindrical object, and there were some doors, and it was all very exciting.
Euclid just gets through this room and like through the nearest bulkhead and just starts exploring a little bit.
Okay. So we're just going to keep the camera with Euclid for a second before we zip back to the crew. So Euclid, the first thing you see once you cross the bulkhead back into what would be the rest of the ship, there's a hallway maybe about 10 feet wide. It goes maybe about another 60 feet. There's doors on either side, 3 on either side that go towards the end of the hallway. And past that, maybe that 60 feet or so, things open up into another room area.
Mm-hmm.
So... Are you checking the doors? Are you walking down the hallway? What are we doing?
I think I'm just walking down the hallway into the next room area at the end of this hallway.
Yep. And at the end there are the room opens up, and now it's probably a good 50 feet wide, another 30 feet past the end of that hallway. There's a couple of round tables off to the left. To the right, there's a couple of sort of longer, what look like counters that have some handles with hatches that open up on them.
Handles with hatches. Love it.
Yes.
I'm going straight to those handles with hatches.
Yeah, the handles that open the hatches. Look, you know what? You go over to them, you lift one, and as the top sort of rotates open, you see that it's filled with ice. And in that ice, there are a few different bottled beverages. It looks like there's a couple of, soda equivalents, a carton of some sort of goat's milk, and 2 juice boxes.
Jackpot! Everybody, I found them. I just load up my arms with as much as I can carry. We'll say seven bevs.
Seven bevs.
bevies.
All right, it'll be, let's say it's 4 juice boxes, a half-gallon of goat's milk, and a couple of Coca-Colas.
Coca-Colas. Love it. All right, yeah, I head back to the cockpit.
All right, Choom's getting ready to make a bad decision.
Percival is desperately searching for like the actual comms device or something that's like in this cabin.
All right, where do we want to start the search, Percival?
Well, I'm still strapped to my chair because I'm terrified, and so I'm gonna look right in front of me and hope that there's some sort of communications device in the seat that's like in the immediate console area that's in front of me. I'm feeling very claustrophobic. I'm feeling very constrained because I'm in a suit that's too small and in restraints that are too tight.
I think it looks
Unless
good on
undid
you.
I mean, I guess you would have. I would have refused if you tried to undo my restraint, like my like seat belts and things like that, because again, Percival is having a hard time.
On the back of the seat in front of you, there is a square, maybe 5 inches wide, 3 inches high, little sort of black flat surface. Around the outside, there's probably a 1-inch silver trim. It's got a couple of black buttons on either side. Below that, it looks like there's a pocket on the back of the seat.
I'm just gonna reach my hand into the pocket and see if there's anything in there.
You pull out 2 different little brochures. The first one being the what to do in case of emergency. It's got the location of the slides on the side. You should put someone else's helmet on first. A bunch of pantomime directions. The second pamphlet is labeled Space Mall.
Why would that be in here? This is not a cruise liner. This is an exploration ship. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, when you said we were in captain's chairs, right? I thought like there were consoles in front of each of us in each row, correct?
Well, there's
or is that
more like captain's chair, like the kind you would have in like the back, the second, front second row of a minivan or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. I wasn't sure if there were like consoles like near where we were seated because I know that there was like some buttons and things that were being pushed. So I'm just trying to get a better picture.
For the most part, there's sort of the buttons there. A lot of the buttons were in front of Choom and in front of Jam Jam up there in the front row. Since you are back behind Jam Jam, there's a little less of that. There is that kind of square black panel on the back of the seat in front of you, and other things that or no, you're behind Choom, not Jam Jam. You're on the right, not the left.
Is there a touch screen on that little panel? Is it?
I don't know. You gonna touch it?
Yes, I'll put my little sausage finger on it.
Oh, we're touching things now.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. We'll get right back to you, Choom, because I feel like there's some plot that's going to fall out of this one.
Oh, I know.
But, yeah, so you touch it, and the whole screen sort of flashes a bright blue before it sort of settles down into a more sustainable blue. In-flight entertainment system.
No fucking way. All right, Percival is going to summon up his courage. He is going to try to unbuckle his restraints after watching Choom do everyone else's. And he's just gonna like get up and start walking towards the front where Choom is seated because he just with his head kind of like slumped down and his hands kind of like on top of his his head, just trying to like processing.
Yeah. Now, I was under the impression, Chum, you'd walked up to the piloting console, which was a little closer to the railing. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you're, Percival, you're walking up towards there as well then, correct?
Yes, sorry, wherever the piloting console is, I'm heading towards that to kind of just, I mean, if anything, just supervise Chum's efforts and just kind of see what's up. Maybe, because at this point, like, Percival's out of his depth.
Good. It takes you a few seconds to get there, and during that little walk, Chum, what are you doing with this console?
So he's just like been just greedily looking over the console, but the gelatin substance that he has seen in the magazine where people stick their hands in, you say it's like big enough that like a full-grown
it's almost like molded to what would look like, the inside of one of those wax hands where someone actually had their hand before they coated it in wax for the wax hand thing.
Curiosity.
It wasn't
abound.
a great descriptor, whatever.
I get it. Like, Chum is literally just so curious, and he's just like, all right, well, pressing buttons. He's gonna take both of his hands, hold either side of the gelatin fixture, and stick both his feet in up to his waist.
You're sticking your feet into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, where are what's your other hand doing?
My two hands?
Your two hands are just
holding the side, and then I just kind of yeet my feet first into the gelatin material.
Okay, I'm just gonna like reach a hand out just to make sure that you have something to grab onto if you need someone to pull you out of it.
Oh, thanks, man. What do I feel? What is it? What's it like?
It closes in on your feet because they kind of go into some of the more sausage fingery looking holes inside there.
Hedizzy can use their feet as hands.
Yes.
Yeah, for the listeners.
And you hear the computer say, plasmopneumonic resonance device engaged.
That sounds cool. What does it feel like? Is it just like I'm in wax, or is it like gel?
It's kind of like a surface tensiony gel. Like it feels jelly, but it's not like soaking into, your leg hair or anything like that. It's just sort of enclosing on you in a vaguely uncomfortable kind of way.
All right. It's a little weird, but...
Yep. As you shift, you start to be able to feel the ship shift just ever so slightly with your hips.
Oh, that's so cool! He's literally just like doing like little hip shakes, like
Are we like?
Everyone is starting to get rocked from side to side.
I was gonna say, do we feel inertia? That's what I was curious if we're in if we are in a 0G environment, or if we are like if we still feel
simulated
like there is
gravity.
sort of like gravity pushing us down.
Yeah, no. If you were in a 0G environment, you'd already known about it. The second somebody got out of a chair, I'd have let you know.
Good point. That is a good point. So I'm just gonna look over to Brew. You mentioned something about maps. Can you at least try to find one?
Sure.
Somewhere around here, and figure out where we are and where we're going, so we can maybe figure out how to safely turn this around. I don't know. I don't really know what to do.
So Euclid comes back with the juice box, right?
Sure do. Hey everybody, I found jackpot, everybody. Hey. Is anybody thirsty?
Definitely. Jam would love one of those juice boxes.
You here?
While Jam is sipping on his juice box, can he do a survival check to see if the stars are anything even remotely similar to what would be near our planet? Because living in the poles, you get to see the stars very well, and people, Jam, the Doar people, navigate a lot through the stars, so he would know them very well.
And he waited till he had a little juice in him, so probably had advantage.
Literally walking up, like sipping on a juice box and just staring at like the front, like panels.
I would say that it counteracts the disadvantage from his highly drunken / hungover state.
All right.
So you have advantage, Jam.
Cool. Advantage. Cool. It's just a 10.
Some of these constellations look familiar. as you can suss out looking at that screen that you are moving through space. It's not like you're hurtling through space, but there's some movement. You're still taking some of that launch inertia with you off into the stars.
So even just with a 10, he can still tell that we're pretty far from where we're supposed to be.
Close enough where you can still recognize the constellations.
Yeah.
Far enough that you're moving through them.
Right.
Like, you are very clearly no longer in Kansas.
Right. We are quite a ways from home.
But it's still dark, which means we're still in our solar system.
Can Jam Jam tell if we are?
I'm gonna do a little exposition.
Sure.
Wait, you're saying we're still in our solar system because it's dark?
Don't you remember the first images that were shared of the astral sea when the probe breached through the boundaries of this system? It was colorful, it was bright, like purple and blue clouds. We have time to turn this around. I don't know what's out there, and I'm not ready for it.
Wow, this guy is good at exposition. All right. I'm into it. Tell me, wait, so I did forget actually. The astral sea is beyond our system, you're saying?
Yes, these systems have boundaries, and beyond them, this was a recent discovery, right? That was the entire reason they built this ship to begin with, was to explore what lies beyond.
It's like a whole new season of Discovery. This information, this newly attained information, is creating quite the influx of adventure, you might say.
Well, would anybody back there be able to tell us where we are at least? I gotta know where I want to. Shakes his hips again.
Wow, the ship
Take
rocks.
Please stop, please. Just keep us on course at least. Oh no.
Is there an autopilot or something?
You mean other than the button labeled autopilot in the top left?
Oh, nice.
It was there the whole time, I promise.
Oh, man.
They're definitely not like context-based controls or anything like that.
No.
No.
Not at all.
But I would ask Percival because he seems to be very knowledgeable about this.
Do you know, like, where we were supposed to go? Like, are we not where we were supposed to be?
I don't know if I would have been maybe clued in on that knowledge. I'm not sure if that was something that was like OPSEC or if that was something that was public knowledge as far as like where exactly this ship was pointed to. Can I like make a history check, I guess?
Why the hell not? I'm sure there's ways to figure it out anyway, but why the hell not?
No, it's only a 9.
Woof.
All right, well, let's find out then, huh?
I know that we were going to the astral sea. You know what I mean? It's just where, I don't know. I don't even know if they knew.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Is there a way we can just like see what the flight trajectory is? Like,
Oh,
let me get you out of there. Let's push autopilot and see where this thing starts moving to.
That's what I was,
presses the button autopilot, but there's no button labeled navigation, is there? Just so
Or like map?
Or map.
Well,
Because if there's a button that says autopilot, I would like maybe.
Or if there's like a navigation table somewhere in here.
there are a lot of consoles and switches and stuff all along both walls of the ship that we haven't looked at yet.
Is
That's
there
true.
a button that has the emoji of that person just with both hands up?
The shoulders.
That are just like, huh?
I mean, if you want to search for it, I feel like that's probably an investigation check.
Euclid is slurping
I'll
on a juice
also-
box, just looking at all the buttons, just
I'll run an
discovering what they
investigate.
all are.
Well, hold on. I did ask Brew if maybe he could try to locate a map. So I'm not sure maybe if we could turn it over to you, bud. Try to save the day here and tell us where we're going. Oh, self-proclaimed navigator.
So I have, I'm gonna look for any sort of maps or anything that's gonna help me kind of figure out where we are.
Is there any
some sort of
reason?
navigation?
Yeah. Is there any reason, like, on your character sheet that you would know more about maps than anybody else here?
So I have Labyrinthian Recall.
Okay.
It's one of my
That sounds very much like a Minotaur kind of thing. Tell me more.
Yep. So I can perfectly recall any path that has been traveled. So I currently, like, I would say I have future help, which is exciting. So like any places we go or how we navigate to them, I will always remember. And then I also have navigation tools.
Okay, so you're pretty familiar with these things, and since you can, sort of take the contents of someone else's map, I guess what's yours is Minos. So,
see what you did there.
It's the second one in like 5 minutes, bro. It's on fire.
Yeah, we're just getting settled into the campaign here. It's good times. Yes. So there's definitely what looks like some cartography equipment. Well, astrocartography equipment, since we're in space, and everything gets an astro appended to the front of it because it's cool. It's over towards the front on the left. There's a few different kind of distinct segments of console. Let's say there's 4 of them. The front left one is our astrocartography.
Okay. As I peruse and I look through kind of taking in my surroundings, I notice the familiar cartographical equipment. So I just kind of like meander in that direction.
Okay. Sorry, you had to bear with me writing something down there for a second. I'm totally not making up the maps as I go along. I would never do something like that.
I'm surprised you only had just one amazing Minotaur pun.
And 2?
I don't know. I didn't want to sound like a cretin.
Get this guy out of here.
Listen, these have been amazing.
Yeah, this is popping off.
Okay.
All right, this nav, you got to roll for that or something?
Yeah, what am I doing?
So you have you've got the console there. You notice there's not too many buttons on here, probably about 6 total or so. It looks pretty manageable to you. So let's make, what's a good check for this sort of thing? Wait, we've got a computer skill. Make me a computers check.
Oh, this isn't good.
No.
Listen, I know what to do with the tomato. I don't necessarily know what a tomato is. That is a 9.
It's a 9.
Oh.
Those are definitely buttons. That's probably a screen.
Nailing it.
It does say astrocartography at the top. So you're pretty sure that there's maps involved here.
Sure, I can read, yeah. That is a skill I slightly can do.
Yeah, so you know what you're looking at, but you have no idea how to operate the thing.
Right.
You've got some ideas though, so
I feel like
take some stabs in the dark. What's the worst that can
so,
happen?
So I'm gonna just make some inferencing, which is probably also not a very good skill for him. But I'm gonna do some inferencing, and we're gonna try to pull up something that looks familiar to me in some way. What am I doing? What am I rolling for?
Oh, let's see. Be a good cartography skill.
We have navigator's tools checks.
Yes, that sounds fantastic. Use your navigator's tools, you navigator, you.
Beautiful. So I can.
The navigator's tools are the screens. It's just usually making a check. Right. Yeah.
Add my proficiency. And what skill am I using for that? Is it intelligence or wisdom?
Ability?
It's ability.
Yeah, what ability do you want to tie to it? It's up to you.
I would,
as the DM, choose the ability.
I would argue survival.
Well, okay, but survival is what? Wisdom?
Yep.
You tie it to an ability, not a skill.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Wisdom.
Yeah. All right, sounds great.
That's my. I'm praying for this. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. All right, so wisdom. That is a 17.
That's awesome. All right.
I told you, I may not know what the tomato is, but I know how to work it.
Yes. Now that we're here, yeah, this is easy because the up and down shaped arrows, they kind of scroll you up and down through different maps. There's one that zooms you in and out. There's, You could find a couple of terrestrial maps for the planets that are in, Concordia's system. There's, a couple of good star maps. And there's one that looks like you can even track your own location on said maps.
Okay.
Would this be affected in any way by me pressing the autopilot button? Because that definitely is happening at that moment.
All right, so you push the autopilot button, and the ship gives a subtle little shimmy. And you kind of feel everyone getting pulled ever so slightly backwards for a second before everything sort of normalizes again. Let's see, does anyone have a passive perception better than 15?
Hell no.
Oh, no.
Nope.
At level 0.
At level 0, absolutely not.
I got a 12.
Okay.
That's it.
Let's see. So the two people involved in the decision here, Choom, I'd like you to make a perception check.
Oh, fuck. Come on, little dice. That is a 12.
A 12. Okay. How about you, Brew?
Ooh, 18.
18.
Ooh, coming in hot.
I feel like I'm wasting these big rolls here, though.
Loving it.
I'm destined for a bad one.
You notice it first.
Okay.
As it pulls up the location on the screen, you sort of see, a little red dot floating through the center of a big blue circle, towards the edge. There's some, specks in the middle. You're probably about halfway between one and the other. But you notice as the autopilot button is hit and there's that little pull and little shimmy, the dot representing your ship, or what you presume is your ship, you've got some fairly high confidence there, has just accelerated pretty significantly towards the edge of the circle.
Oh no.
Do I know what?
Oh yes.
Do I know what the edge of the circle is?
You can probably pretty safely infer that is the edge of the system.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
My friend at the controls, you're probably going to want to steer us a little bit the other direction.
You want me to turn around?
That would be preferable, yeah.
Are we going to space?
We're going the wrong direction.
We're in space. We're there right now.
Let's just say
Choom just kind of looks up.
I can only assume that space has an end, and we don't necessarily want to see that yet.
Oh, come on. You're not at least a little curious?
Not right now.
Like we had to be put here for a reason.
How about we just do this? Can we just slow down?
Is there any way to disengage the autopilot that I know of or can see?
Probably the same button.
All right. Press the autopilot button again.
Double autopilot.
Biometric input not recognized.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Well, I tried. He puts his arms behind his head and he's just like, we're going to space.
Wait. Percival starts frantically pushing the button, maybe seeing, like, I do work for the IAI, maybe there's a shot, and he pushes his finger to disengage the autopilot.
Credentials invalid.
Yes!
Well, I always wanted an adventure.
That's damn right, big guy.
Who's going to watch my kids?
You have kids?
And that's where we're going to end this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Whoa.
We are so screwed.
You have kids?
That was inspired. I love it. Now, if you love it as much as I do, you can find us on the internet. We can be found on Linktree/Hapless Heroes. We can also be found on Instagram. Search for Hapless Heroes. Both of those places will give you the links to all of the rest of our socials, and they'll take you to the place you really need to be. The crown jewel, you might say, of our internet presence, our Discord server, where you can meet, greet, chat, and hang out with us on a daily basis. We're there. We're cool. We're usually pretty active. Fran and I are super active on there. Everybody else is also moderately pretty active on the server. But also there are listeners like you who are active on the server, and that's really the reason you want to be there, to interact with the rest of our community. We've got different channels for D&D things. We've got channels for non-D&D things. Discussion of past episodes, of past season. I'd say seasons, but it's really just past season.
Past season, yeah.
Yeah, we're a little bit of past seasoning going on here. But yeah, all of those things are available now. If you really like us, you could follow one of those links on our link tree to our Patreon. It's also at patreon.com/haplessheroes. I'm going out on a limb and assuming that the Patreon link is also in the link tree because, it's a tree full of links.
Sure
so
is.
it's a link that we have.
That's a short limb, Dave.
I know, it really is. It's more of like a nub. I'm
No,
going
no,
out
no,
on a
supported.
nub.
Fully supported by this limb.
Yeah.
That needs
I
to
have
be
a
a shirt.
slight foothold on the nub. But anyway, if you go to that, if you go to our Patreon, we've got what may even be by now a variety of different reward tiers. But even if it isn't, there's a way to support our podcast. It's just a little way to kick in, sort of helps us with our hosting costs, maybe occasionally even some equipment. It's not really our day job or anything like that, but that's fine. We're not really trying to be that way. We're just trying to give you the quality internet content you deserve. So if you feel like donating a little bit to us, we've got a little bit to give you back in return. Some outtakes, some clips, some special episodes, lots of really cool stuff, and access to a patrons only channel in our Discord where we all type with our pinkies raised. If you really, really like us so much that you want to do things out of order, you could leave a 5-star review for us on the podcast service of your choice. We're on a large number of the ever-dwindling number of podcast services. I believe Google Podcasts is also going the way of the buffalo, along with some of those other ones. But we're on Spotify, we're on Pandora, we're on Podbean, where we're hosted. We're probably in quite a few other places. If it's a podcast service, you can find us there. And if they allow you to leave reviews, you should leave us one. If you do so and we see it, and trust me, we'll see it, we're looking, we will read it out on air and recognize you as the 5-star human that you are. If for some reason your podcast service doesn't have one, go into our Discord. We have a channel called 5 Stars, and you can leave that podcast review there, and we will read it just the same, with the same level of recognition.
Speaking of recognition, I have an individual to shout out, and I'm pretty sure this is exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced, and this is how I hear it in my head, so I'm gonna say it with a little zhuzh here. But this comes from fucking Donnie on our Discord server, who I'm sorry, it's like how that's the voice I hear.
Can you spell this out?
FAQN Donnie.
Okay, great.
And fucking Donnie says, so close to finishing the campaign, and all I gotta say is I'm going to miss all of the characters when it's over. Can't wait to listen to the next one. Well, by the time you're listening to this, my friend, you are listening to the next one. We hope you like these characters just as much. Thank you for the review. Thanks for saying some kind words. You are a 5-star human.
And if you like us, right now you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal. Borrow a phrase from earlier in the podcast, I think Seb said it, and create a web series called My Two Hands. And it's based on a family where there's 2 hands, and they take care of their precocious child, which I guess you'll play. Make this like a Reels kind of short series where like you get into some hijinks, you know what I'm saying? And your 2 hands have to teach you a lesson to get out of it. And tag us at Hapless Heroes on Instagram or whatever the heck. And yeah, make sure there's a heartfelt with like strings in the background, a little soundtrack where you're learning a lesson about I don't know, how to use a mandolin properly so you don't cut yourself. And your hands, my 2 hands, have to say, listen. And then there's a heartfelt, and friend, I'm sure you can find some strings.
Royalty-free heartfelt strings. Yeah, sure.
Listen, child, you need to palm what you're slicing in the mandolin so you don't get your fingers caught in that razor-sharp blade. Thank you, my 2 hands. Thank you for teaching me how to use a mandolin.
Solid.
That is, I mean, there you go. That's everything.
It's one of the more harmless suggestions we've given. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm just so happy that that we're back and we have things like that and ways that that you, our listener, can support us, the podcast, through
There are ways.
wacky hijinks. Speaking of wacky hijinks, I'm going to outro our cast. Starting on my right, we have Euclid, played by Zach.
Hey, anybody want a little goat's milk? A half gallon of it, I guess. This is a lot of goat's milk to have in a spaceship.
But is it enough to make a mimosa? That's really the question.
No.
Can that just not
On
be
a
a thing?
planet
No,
where
no
they skip
crossovers.
I don't think I've ever heard of that on this planet. That might be from a different plane or planet.
It probably is. Nobody would want to go to a place like that. Anyway, to his right, we have Chum, played by Seb.
Look, Ma, no hands.
To his right, we have Glorp, played by Nicole.
Uh-oh, where'd my cooler go?
To her right, we have Brew, played by Mike.
Can't wait to grab this bull by its horns.
To his right, we have Lev, played by Lewis.
There were really only 2 juice boxes in that cooler.
Like 6. Wait, how did I have? I had 4.
I don't know.
I had 4.
You
There
better check
was
you better
2
check
juice
the tape.
There was
boxes and a bunch
two.
of sodas. And
But then he came out with 4, so we can only speculate how he got more
How'd you
juice.
get 4?
I don't
It's
know.
fine. We can
I just
speculate.
There might have been more than one cooler. Maybe they were further
Hey,
down in the ice. It
I'll
doesn't
never
actually
tell.
matter.
You
There were
little
enough
secret
juice
keeper.
boxes for him to bring 7 beverages. Anyway, to his right, we have Jam Jam, played by John.
until next time.
And to his right, we have Percival, played by Francesco.
We are woefully underprepared for this mission.
Speaking of woefully underprepared, my name is Dave. I have been your host and dungeon master for this evening. It's been a wonderful episode, and let me tell you, it is so good to be back. Bye-bye, everyone.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
My
Bye-bye.
two hands.